You're tuned into the Combat Jack Show featuring Dallas Penn. Just Blaze. We got Primo, DJ Premier.
What up?
In the house. What's up, sir?
I'm just tweeting that I'm up here with you and Just Blaze.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, brother.
How's your tweet game, man?
It's gotten better. It's actually fun, man. 46 years old and having fun tweeting. This shit is crazy shit.
Now how?
Oh, wait. Am I supposed to not curse?
No, you can't curse.
Oh, you can't? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Primo. We don't even wash the windows here, Primo.
Yeah, the windows are pretty dirty.
All right.
Then fuck it.
Where was we at when we set up your
Make a new curse word here, brother.
Okay, cool.
Where was we at when we set up the Twitter?
Yo, Just Blaze actually set my Twitter up in Chicago, which I'm actually going to tomorrow to DJ at the Shrine. Tony Touch, I'm on the radio right now, so I can't talk to
Tony
Toka. That's Tony Toka.
Tony.
What's up, Tony Toka?
That's the Tony Toka ring.
Yeah, how you feeling, man?
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, new album out, Bumpy Knuckles.
Congratulations.
The collection. Yeah, just having fun, man.
Now, that record came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And what's the reception been?
Been incredible. I mean, Twitter is crazy with it, which again, I love how I was able to use Twitter as a proper tool to communicate with the people that get it. Anybody that don't get it, we don't really, try to be relevant to the youngsters or anything. And we love the young rappers coming up and DJs and MCs, graffiti artists, everything. But we have a market that's been following us since we came out.
Of course.
And you're supposed to support that same buying public so that you can still live off your craft.
So the internet's been very good to you.
Oh yeah. I mean, some reviews are a little off, but you can tell that the reviewer is younger, right? Because if they understood the era we come from, the reviews would match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of what the albums that we all put out should be. You know what I'm saying?
Now I got a text last week from DJ Clark Kent.
Right, shout to Clark.
And he was like, you have to have Bumpy Knuckles, Freddie Fox on the show, because he ripped a particular show last week.
Highline Ballroom.
Highline, ripped it.
He got busy.
Like crazy. I heard there was a lot of people in the house.
Yeah, it was
he
fun.
Killed it.
It was like a family reunion, just seeing the Cold Crush come on stage.
Cold Crush.
Yeah, and just doing their routines. I moved out the way and told Tony Tone get on the wheels, and they put on Love Rap and just, Ron did the step back dance and everything. Like, everything was just authentic. And, naughty. Bumpy's talking shit to people that front, and then all of a sudden you hear Tretch with a mic going, if you come up talking shit, you leave limping.
Wait, Tretch was in the house?
Oh yeah, Naughty by Nature performed just out of nowhere.
Crazy.
They were just there to hang, but we threw a couple of instrumentals on. They did Uptown Anthem and Dirt Off by My Lawn.
Yo, Dallas, where were we, man? Why you didn't call me and let me know about that night?
Man, listen, spaceships take off sometimes and you miss them.
Yeah, you gotta be in the know, man.
Yo, Preem, man, 23 years in the game.
Yeah.
I met you in 1989.
Wow.
And it's so funny, man, because I had known Guru a few months before.
Right.
I had known of him because I knew his sister,
right,
and his brother-in-law,
Trish or Jossie.
Trish.
Okay, shout to Trish.
And they were telling me that that her brother was in the rap game.
Right.
But everybody says that their brother.
Everybody got an artist or a cousin.
In 1989, that shit wasn't real. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
And then I remember watching Yo MTV and seeing the Manifest video.
Right.
And that shit blew me away because it was in the shadow of PE. There was a different level of black consciousness. You know what I'm saying? People were a little bit, on some political movement type thing.
Right.
And then the video just captured. It was real subtle. It wasn't like the bombasticness of PE, right, but it was, subtle Malcolm X, Guru, and then the jazz and that shit. I was like, whoever these motherfuckers are, right, I'm a fucking fan. Yeah. And it was locked in since then, man. And then after that, I had met Guru and he introduced me to you, and I can't. Where did those 23 years go, B?
I mean, they still continue with what I'm doing now, with dropping a Bumpy album, or dropping getting back with M.O.P. to do an album, or putting out the NYGs or Khalil or anything I put out. Anything I put out is gonna rep the pure form beats, rhyming and some scratching. Like that.
That's what I love about Just Blaze, man. Like, he took over a big chapter of Jay-Z's career, and he always was cutting and doing, like proper cuts where you're like, all right, he ain't just a beat maker.
That came from sitting there watching you all those years. That's actually something we were talking about earlier. What tripped me out was the reason I cut so much better with my left hand than my right.
Right.
Is because when I seen the Manifest video, you had two turntables on the same side with the mixer off to the other side.
You know where I got that from? The Malcolm McLaren World Famous Supreme Team EP. They had the turntables behind the GLI. And I was like, that's dope. I said, I wonder if I just set, and then also the DJ, my man R.P. Cola, shout out to him, who I went to college with, who taught me how to scratch. He always had it like that in his dorm room, but when we did the parties, he had it left and right, and he was good with both hands. I'm like, damn, I'm not good with my left. And, but I see Red Alert cross over, right. So I was like, all right, it is cool to cross over and still, get busy. It's all about just how you get down.
All the scratching is making me itch.
That's right, baby.
Buffalo Gals. Yeah. Now, how old were you, man, back when y'all shot that video? Man, that was so
I just turned 21.
21. Y'all look like babies, man, and it already looked at, like when I was looking at the video today, man. And you just looking at the parts that you were in, man, it just looked like your scratching was already intact. You had already been seasoned for a new jack, man.
Yeah. I feel like my career is like a contest. Like I won, and the prize was I get to make a record, put out a video, and perform. But I'm like fans that watch sports. People watch sports and they'll be like, yo, I would have thrown a pass on that one. I wouldn't have run the ball.
Sideline coaching.
And people are like, man, you ain't out there playing or whatever. I'm like that. Like, when it's like, dude, if I could get a chance to rhyme, to do a record and had the opportunity, this is how I would make it sound. So that's really my mentality. I'm making what I think it should sound like based on what I like.
Right.
Where's the first place you played, you performed, you scratch? You DJ?
You know about as far as learning how to scratch and all that?
Just the first time you were
in school at Prairie View A&M. Shout out to everybody at PV, the Panthers, baby.
Dig it.
Shout to
Texas. Just speaking of, you said something earlier about the scratch game being on point. Now we know you came up obviously DJing and whatnot, but if I remember correctly, I remember reading somewhere one of the big transitions from the first album to the second album was the second album was when you actually learned to use the beat machines. Right? Yeah. The first album, it was you.
No More Mr. Nice Guy is like, we call it our resume. Me and Guru always called it that because we had an SP12, not a 1200, and me, our engineer Slow-Mo, and Guru had our hand on whatever had something on it. If it had a hi-hat over there, the Guru's hitting that, and I'm just going boom, 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 and just tapping whatever. Slow-Mo's hitting the drum roll, and we just look at each other and be like, yeah, that's hot.
Right.
That's how we did that. Even with Manifest, we didn't have automation, so when it said stop, think for a moment, okay, we all were hitting the buttons. We messed up probably like 20 times before we got nice clean one and hit it back in on point, because we didn't have automation back then.
So what was it like on the second album when you actually learned the master?
That's when I was like, you know what, and this one I want people to know I'm the one doing the beats, he's doing the rhymes, and still he would bring a song to me either sample wise or have it kind of programmed, and I would just rework it and make it bounce my way, but it may have been drums and samples that he put together, and I'd still just say, all right, well, let me program it. So just like Marley did, people got to understand, if you give Marley the track, he's going to make it to sound like a Marley funk.
He's producing.
He's producing.
That's one thing a lot of people don't understand is there's a difference between somebody who's making a beat and somebody who's producing a record.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will get their laptops these days, since we all use laptops, tap something out and then give the beat to a rapper,
fly it out.
Yeah, and then that's that, and then they're not. That's the extent of their involvement in the record, but they still want to call themselves a producer. It's like, no, being a producer is about being a visionary and bringing a sound. Like Quincy Jones, when he did Thriller, he wasn't sitting there on the drums and playing the violins and the horns and whatnot.
Yeah, you need to tone that down right there,
exactly,
and turn that up. But when you get here, go bap bap. Like these are things.
He was instructing.
Yeah, he's shaping the whole thing.
You're directing the ship. You're the visionary.
And one of my favorite stories of yours is when you were first working with Jay-Z and you were producing him, and
for
walking him
for
Reasonable Doubt, and walking him through the process, and you having to impose your producer hat on him.
Right. I mean, for the most part, he always knew what he wanted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like anything that we did, except for So Ghetto, he's always told me what the song is about, and then he'll do the rhyme over the phone, a cappella. Like, he'll do the whole thing, and he'll be like, and then I want it to go do this and do this and do this. But the instruction that he gives
is so proper because it's like, oh, got it, all right. Well, that's how we did 1,000,001 Questions. That's how we did The Evils. Bring It On was just make a beat and he just spit.
Right.
Friend or Foe, I made a beat and he just spit. But The Evils, he completely described it. He did all the scratches over the phone. He wanted to say, I can't
So
die,
in a sense, he kind of like co-produced it in a sense.
Yeah, to the degree, but he gave me mine to take the lead of what my position is. Just like, I'm not trying to step over what he does, even if rhyming, even if I give an opinion of fixing a line or recutting something or whatever. It just doesn't matter. That ego is already out the window from the gate. But Jay already had experience from just being with Jaz-O. So, so he'd been around long enough to know that now it's his turn to shine. He totally has it mapped out.
Now, one of the things that puzzle me about your history, particularly you and Guru's history, is how the fuck does a kid from Prairie View, Texas, and Boston, Massachusetts come to New York and become two of Brooklyn's finest? Like, how the fuck did that happen, man?
Well, for me, my grandfather lived here, so we used to come all the time when I was younger. So during like summer and stuff like that, me and my parents, my sisters, all of us would come stay with my grandfather, or we would get a hotel in the city. But still, we spent a lot of time with him. He was a big baseball fan. I was really into baseball when I was a kid, played Little League and all that bullshit. And he used to really love going to Yankee games, so I used to go with him a lot. And he also played in a band. He played upright bass and trombone and trumpet. And he's from the World War II days. Rest in peace to Grandfather Bill. He's right here with me. And basically, he was always showing me all the things he did on tour, all the people he met and all the pictures. And I was like, I want to do that. And hip-hop just happened to be during that. It was still on the creep. It wasn't records yet. And we're talking about like 74, 75.
Wow.
I've been coming
to New York training
that much.
And that's the training you was getting with the music.
I was like in the fourth
foundation.
I was like in the 4th or 5th grade. So every time we went back to school, from the summer, I was always telling them all the crazy stuff I saw. Like a dude committed suicide, jumped in front of our train, and we ran over him, but we had to back the train up so we could get off of his body. So he was all sliced up, and his arm was moving by itself, separated.
And this is what you've seen in the 70s.
Yeah, so this is like 75.
75. So when New York was on that extra raw shit.
I was here for the blackout, everything.
Give that man a round of applause, man. There's very few people that I meet that were here during the 1977
I was here.
blackout, man. Now, so you knew from an early age with all this excitement and mayhem.
As a kid, that's making you go crazy. Like, yo, I gotta move here when I grow up.
This motherfucker just got hit by a train.
Yeah,
I gotta move here.
You know, a subway train is not gonna jump.
Right.
It jumped, and we sat, and we kind of tried to move, and then all of a sudden they go, there's been a suicide. Like, it's like if it happened just a minute ago. The guy just starts going through all the cars. There's been a suicide. Everybody's got to get off, but we had to walk all the way to the front car. So when we get off the front car, it's so fresh from just running over them. Cops ain't there to not let you take a look. Right. So we were like, I can't wait
to have Instagram.
What did you do last summer?
That would have been some Instagram shit.
I ran over. Our train ran over somebody, and his arm was over here, and it was doing. His arms were it was like in a horror movie, but it was really real.
So it sounds like you had a musical environment, a musical background.
Oh yeah, my mother.
When you were growing up.
Yeah.
Did you play instruments yourself?
I played piano when I was a kid, but when you get to a certain age where you're playing Cowboys and Indians, trying to play football with all your boys, all of a sudden you're like, Mom, I don't want to do piano lessons. Right. And by second, third grade, you quit. And now that I do beats, it's like, damn, I'm glad I learned enough to understand middle C and chords and all of that, because it all comes back to you, But
one thing about that, though, if you had learned traditional, because when you take piano lessons, you're taking music theory, which is really just somebody else's interpretation of what music should sound like.
True that.
So, had you gone forward with those lessons, you might not have gone on to do the thing that you've done, because so many of them were musically abstract.
Word. I was playing, silly songs like Baby Elephant Walk and things like that.
I was there too.
Now, coming up during that era, man, what was like your first hip hop moment that made you realize, this is the path that I'm going to take?
Well, I was really into video games, hard body.
Which ones?
I was a pinball head. I mean, of course, I'm 46, so pinball was normal back then. It wasn't, just before Galaga and Super Mario and all that stuff.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders was a game changer.
Word. I mean, even Pong, man. I mean, just that was a big deal. So I was really into video games. Plus, a good friend of mine, Jarvis Gale, wherever you're at, I don't know if you're dead or alive, but big up to him. I went with his parents to Vegas. We were underage, and we were playing all the slots and stuff. And again, it just made. I was really into video games heavy back then, you know. So from there. What did that lead to? Because I was drawing a blank because of the trees. So when it got to my grandfather taking me to Times Square to all the different places to hang out at,
arcades,
we see b-boys breaking, and when they had the box and they would start just popping and stuff. I didn't see the turntable thing yet, but to see that early, and that's probably like 78. It's just like, yo, look at the way they did. I was into the lockers because that was a West Coast thing with Rerun and all of them, because they were like the pre-B-boy style of dancing back then with all of that. So when I saw them, gliding, they were walking away before Michael and all of that stuff. But
of course,
yeah. So to see all of that, I started telling my friends about that too, because that was part of. And then they were playing records that we grew up on, and my sisters used to play at the parties. Because my sister and them went to every party in the neighborhood, and they always and a lot of the records belonged to me. So they would let me go and just chill in the corner as long as I didn't interrupt them.
And soak that all in.
Yeah, and I would just soak it all in, So from playing at Parliament Records to Funkadelic Records, this is before Knee Deep and One Nation Under Groove. This is, Tear the Roof Off the Sucker, and Our Name is Bootsy and stuff like that. And James Brown, the Ozzy Brothers, and seeing my sister have her first kiss with our neighbor who was the coolest dude in our neighborhood, and she kissing him. I'm like, oh, my sister going out with the coolest dude in the neighborhood, and so her dancing to Love Ballad by LTD to this day. Anytime I hear that song, I think about that particular day.
It takes you back, right?
I was like, yo, my sister's going out with Brian, because everybody respected him in our hood, and he was our next door neighbor. So when my sister going out with him, is like, again, that was a big deal.
Swag, you
swag was early.
You already had some swag, some young swag.
Exactly. So all of this is just stuff that I'm going back and telling my friends in Texas are like, really? Because they're like, yo, what else did you see? So by the time I was 13, I said, yo, my other sisters didn't want to really start coming up anymore. They're like, they want to hang out for the summer with their friends. So I said, I'll go by myself. And me and my grandfather were really tight, and always, like I said, kept going to games, football games, everything. So that is, me and him built that bond. And then when hip hop started to really, make sense, I'd say, obviously everybody's going to say Rapper's Delight, you know what I'm saying? Even I didn't hear the Cold Crush yet,
right.
Even though I know it now and I can, quote their stuff. But back then, I just knew Rapper's Delight just like anybody else, and it continued on, Run DMC.
But you had heard sounds like that happen in real life. So to hear Rapper's Delight on the radio.
And the music matched the city. I make music that sounds like this town.
When did you know you were going to make timeless music? Did you, when did you know you were going to make timeless music?
Probably like my sophomore year in college. Yeah, I was like, yo, I want to give it a shot, but I don't know where to start. And shout to Carlos Garza, that's my dude, that's my homie. He stole my demo and gave it to Stu Fine, because he was Carlos was the 12-inch buyer. He got me a job at a record store called Soundwaves. Shout to Soundwaves on South Main, right there in H-Town. You know what I'm saying? That's a real store. All the players, the hustlers, the hard, grimy dudes came to that store only to buy anything that they're looking for. And we had to know every genre of music. We had to know hip-hop, blues, gospel, Zydeco. You know Zydeco?
Zydeco, yeah.
You had to know Zydeco music, you had to know country, and you had to know rock and jazz. And we knew everything. And I learned more of that because my mom is an art teacher. So she taught me how to draw. She's really, everybody in my neighborhood has paintings from my mom. Everybody. You name anybody in my neighborhood, they have one. 5 or 6 of them. So all that trickles down too. And then my older sisters, like I said, you got my sister was in the rock, so she's in the Bowie, the Stones, Rush, AC/DC.
Hall & Oates.
Yeah, that's the Hall & Oates, all that stuff.
Who wasn't in the Hall & Oates?
Leo Sayer, and then my other sister's into the more gritty stuff, and then I'm into what I'm into, and then my mom's into what she's into. My father's the only one that's not really into music. He's just some laid back, just cool dude.
There's enough music in the house.
There's enough in the house. He just tells you when to shut up.
Now, I understand that when you was in college, you actually stole a turntable.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it now, but at the time it was necessary.
Now the person that got jacked, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Did you ever pay him back for the turntables?
I will say that we're cool now, and everything's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't in the rap game when KRS was blowing up. Like you was still looking up to cats that were doing it in New York.
I was working at Kroger driving forklifts.
And then you got to produce for KRS-One. Mm-hmm. Like, how was that, man? Like, how was that?
That was the first time I was nervous. I was always confident through every stage, even with being with Guru, because he accepted me, so I was used to being with him, you know.
And in a sense, you guys were coming up at the same time.
Yeah, but we were always just idea mongers. He'll come home and go, yo, we should do a song about this. And then when he get back from work, this is when we had, before we even, you know.
This is when rappers had to have day jobs.
That's right. Word. Everybody was calling him Mr. Ill. You know what I'm saying? He'd come with the trench, stand the kufi, roll some weed, go check on kids that that are getting beat by their foster parents. And then coming in the house, we drinking 4. That's when we were 40. We were all on 40s. And then
St. Ides a private stock, man. OE.
St. Ides wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, so it was OE.
OE is always the numero uno. I mean, unless you want to go to Ballantyne.
How'd you spice up the OE? Cisco?
Well, we called it Kunta. When you put either the coconut, either you put Guinness in it, that's called Kunta. Or you put the coconut and you call it Miss Kunta. Shout to J. Root the Damage on that one.
Yeah, J. Root the Damage created that shit.
So so you
we drank hard body. Like I've always said, it Gangstar really lived the rock and roll lifestyle hard. You can
hood rock and roll lifestyle.
You can ask Jizza, you can ask RZA, you can ask Easy M.O.P, you can ask Cypress Hill. They will tell you we party.
You set it off.
Yeah, and we weren't even platinum, but we were lit. We were acting like we were quadruple platinum. It was just that crazy in that house.
So you get to work with KRS. Man.
Yes, I was nervous, and
were you kind of messing up because you were nervous? Or?
Nah, once they said we're gonna have a call on the phone, and I'm just like, here it is. I'm excited about it, but it's still like, damn, that's a big step. Once I did that, that's when I really got my confidence to produce anything. But prior to that, I was just used to being with just Gangstar only because, again, being he accepted me from the gate. I was, we already know how to bond and make records that fit how we are as a team. Our music sounded like the way we looked, the way we carried ourselves, our videos, everything matched. And I think that's really important. Your music should match how you look and everything. Eric B. and Rakim looked like the way their record sounded. The name, they look like the name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Run DMC looks like the name. Their records sound like the way they look. The EPMD, they look like the name and all that. We're into all of that. You gotta be like that.
Now, wait, when you, so KRS being one of your first big breakouts outside of Gangstar, did that affect the dynamic within the Gangstar group at all?
It did to a certain degree because, again,
I'm being put in the forefront where I did not want to be in. Right. I love playing the background. That's always been me. I know I'm more talkative now, but that's just from learning and growing and being more confident to speak like this. Right. Prior to that, I didn't want to say shit. Everything that's even on the skits on the record, Guru would always be like, gas me up, like, yo, you should say that shit, because we'd always be building and talking about how shitty things are or whatever. And then he's like, you should say it. Go in the booth and say that. And then they're like, yo, it's dope. And that's why I started to get more confident speaking. Prior to that, you hardly ever saw me talking in videos or interviews. I let Goo do his thing because I want him to be the front man. I just want to be able to speak if somebody says, what did he mean by that? I want to be, he meant this in the rhyme and he said so and so and so and so. That's one thing I like about Jay-Z too. When we're working with him, he used to ask Dash and them and Biggs, and shout to Biggs, hold your head, homie. He'd be like, yo, y'all know what that means? And Lady of Rage is the same way. What does that mean? And she gonna check you.
And play the background.
Yeah, I know what it means. What does that line mean? You said that I'm gonna pick up the water and I'm gonna pour it. No, I didn't. But you wasn't like Jay is that much still to this day. I was at Nas's dinner party and Jay was there and he was talking to Torre, the reporter, about how he misconstrued one of his songs, and I'm sitting there like, damn, Jay ain't changed. He still wants you to understand his lyrics so that you don't take it the wrong way, because he knows how to compose his shit.
You hear that, Dallas? Dallas
Guru's the same way.
Dallas is in the back smirking. No, we've had Torre on the show, and
shout out to Torre too. That's my dude.
No, shout out to Torre.
Yeah, that's my dude.
I see you smirking back there, Dallas.
I'm just the always in the best spot in the room, the fly on the wall, just hearing.
There it is.
Yo, man.
Hip hop stories.
Yeah, man. You should be able to translate. A DJ should be able to translate his MC's lyrics
all the time, I was picking on a couple people that would review our album. I was like, I could tell you're younger than me because there's things that Bun B's saying on there. It's like, yo, you didn't live the 80s, so you really can't understand. Context, you're not a shell toe dude. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not a Pro-Cats dude. You're not a Bally dude. You know what I'm saying? You're not a Playboy dude. You're not a British Walker dude.
British Walker, hold on. British Walker.
You're not a Gazelle dude. It's cool.
Now,
but
one question I always wanted to ask you, man, is what's your favorite Gangstar album?
Everybody, album, Moment of Truth. Moment of Truth. That was the most craziest time me and Guru were going through, separately and together.
How so?
Well, I had just left the group. We were just having too much tension from his drinking. He was just so out of control. I wish he was here now, just drunk talking shit, because that's what I missed. Him going, fuck you. You don't motherfucking know, but I'm the dope rapper. Nobody can outrhyme me. That's one thing I loved about him. He'd always he'll yell at you, scream at you, and he'll go, but one thing, you can't outrhyme me. And all the time, it could be 20 years from now, he'll say the same thing. Just remember one thing, you can't outrhyme me. And that's how much he really loves to rhyme.
Primo, all the projects that you worked on, the albums that you've gotten released, is the best collabo project that you've done to this date the birth of your son?
Yeah, of course. I think any father or any human being would. That's always the best creation. You know, he's more the beat. He's more intangible. He's the bloodline. So. That's a whole nother level. Shout out to Jalen.
I mean, how did that change your thought process for work?
It's got me back on my 93 shit where everybody knows I'm slow. I take forever to get a beat. People wait for the albums to get done for my track and they don't get it, and they're like, damn, he takes forever. And I probably got overlooked by many people because of my time, my slowness. But having a kid, and I'm again 46.
How old is your kid, man?
He's 9 months.
9 months, okay.
Yeah, man.
So you're a new father?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, man.
So you know,
still got the new kid smell.
Yeah, for sure. You
know, so
that puts you in a whole. I mean, all my boys that have kids have been telling me, "Yo, put you in a whole different mindset."
It really does. It makes you want to work your ass off so that he's able to appreciate it. Plus, you know. Hopefully I'll live as long as my parents are living right now in their 80s.
Nice.
You know, I'll be 60 when he's 20.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to still be just as active, and I'm an active person anyway. Like we've never been non-active. Like I told you, we really have been, we go out.
So like you're an outdoorsy type of father.
We're everything. Just whatever, from going to a game to throwing a ball with them to I'm just not sitting there all lazy. I've always, just been an active person. So
nice. Let's take a break. Yo, internets, you're tuned into the Combat Jack Show featuring Dallas Penn and Just Blaze. We got DJ Premier in the house. www.pncradio.fm.
Starr.
F your radio.
Yeah.
F your radio. F your radio.
Yeah.
Internet.
Are you tuned in, internet? Are you logging in on all this content? Where we got your favorite producer interviewing your favorite producer? No bullshit. You're tuned into the Combat Jack Show featuring Dallas Penn. We got Just Blaze on deck.
Internet.
And the incredible, legendary producer, DJ Premier in the house.
Yes,
what up, Preem?
What's the deal, Jack?
Please don't stare.
Yo, Preem, man, I gotta ask you, man. Like, I always felt like, as a fan, listening on the other side, that Guru was one of the funniest lyricists in the game. And what I mean by that is, he would say some rhymes that would really make me laugh.
Yeah.
And did you like? He was like a comedian, not
question.
Like,
but
no jokes.
He had wit. Yeah, he had some wit.
And it was a grown man holding a mic.
No question.
That was a man holding a mic.
Oh yeah. I always say he is. I don't even say was.
Right.
Is.
Right. And it's crazy. Yeah. It's going on. What?
It'll be 2 years. April 19th.
Isn't that crazy?
It's coming next week, man.
It's how you feel, man? How you feel, man?
It's crazy, man, because nothing really makes me cry. And when he passed, I cried at the most random times. You start looking at all your old videos because you still know it's an actual fact, but you still just can't believe it.
Right.
You believe it and can't believe it. And then not only that, just all my peoples that ran with us, we still together. So when we reminisce on stuff, even on our album, Bumpy Knuckles did a record called the Gangstar Bus. And the crazy thing is, when I gave him the track, he didn't know it was a Gangstar track from one of our older albums that we didn't use. It was just one of the 10 or 15 that I gave him. And he goes, yo, I wrote one called Gangstar Bus. I'm sending you the vocals. And when I heard it, it was just like, yo, I remember that day, you know, being on the bus, all the wild, crazy stuff we did, the fights, the everything, the fun, you know, just everything.
Fights amongst each other, or fights with other cats and the whole matter?
Fighting with Freddie Fox. You don't want to fight with Freddie Fox.
Y'all fought Freddie Fox?
You know, arguing like, yo, what
that
the fuck?
That big-ass nigga?
Yeah, that big-ass nigga.
You ever got hit by Freddie Fox?
Oh, no, I don't want to. Nah, I'll pass on that.
Nah, didn't Freddie Fox just lay somebody out, Dallas?
He's beat up a lot of people.
We're all grown now. We're grown now.
You know what I'm saying? He knocked somebody out.
At SO. Was you there, Combat? Were you there, Combat?
No, I was blogging about it.
Okay, so
I was there.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So speak on it.
First time ever seen Bumpy Knuckles lay somebody out. You know what I mean? It was I think it was a Static Selector album release joint, right?
Okay.
And we was downstairs
Shouts
in the
to
joint.
Static Selector.
Everybody was out there. The rapper Torre, the Black Torre, as Dallas would say.
Black Torre.
The Black Torre.
Okay.
Sky Zoo, a whole bunch of, you know, and this dude, you know, he came down there. He had like screwdrivers, right? And he said, "Yo, he was rapping like on a camcorder,
actual screwdriver.
Yeah, he had like shanks and shit. So he was like, yeah,
inside the club.
He was like, yeah, blase, blah blah blah. I'ma cut somebody up, and the whole mood changed, right? Yo, Bumpy Knuckles was down there, and he tried to approach Bumpy Knuckles on that rapidy rap shit with the shanks and all that. And Bumpy's like, yo, dude, yo, chill. And dude was like, who you, blah blah blah. And the next thing you know, it was 1, 2, hook, jab, and blood. That was it.
That was it. No more.
That was the movie.
No more shank, right?
Shout out to Mel D. Cole, who probably, I think he captured the homie.
He did.
He jumped on top of a stool, clip, boom, and got everything. No Instagram was around at
and
the time.
You see the power of Bumpy Knuckles. That footage does not surface anywhere.
Google that.
You know what I'm
saying? I'm sure it said DallasPenn.com.
Surface anywhere.
I mean, I certainly have the still image of education.
You know that individual, right?
I know. I never met Bumpy.
All I can say is I saw the long version.
The long version.
Shout to Bumpy.
Yeah.
Yo, one of the
hip hop.
It don't stop. One of the most amazing records, B, out of your incredible catalog is D-Wick.
No, fun record.
How did that happen, B?
We did a record on the
Ain't a Damn Thing Change record called Down the Line, and shout to Bass Blaster, shout to
Preacher Earl was
nice and smooth.
Yeah, the whole Nice Smooth. You know, their crew, they wanted to use Manifest, so we brought the record over 12 minutes, laced it up. Greg Nice does a lot of beats. A lot of people don't know. A lot of that stuff is Greg's beats, and he did Hip Hop Junkies, all that stuff, and he programmed that. And Guru hopped on it with him. So all we were doing was returning the favor and doing one on our record. It just turned out to be a big hit. We didn't plan on that. Right. We were just doing one on each other's record. And D-Wick just happened to be the one that took off as a B-side because we weren't making it that important. We were just making another jam. And we always did B-sides because Prince used to do it. So I was like, yo, if I get a record deal, I want to do B-sides. So the first record we ever did, even with Manifest, here's the proof, it's the B-side. So I always wanted to have a record that was not on the album.
Right.
So, but then D-Wick blew up, and then we couldn't get it striped onto the Daily Operation album. We kept telling the label, do it. It's going to sell the album because everybody's buying the album looking for D-Wick, and they're like, yo, the song ain't on there, and we got mad complaints.
And that's the worst shit, man.
Yeah. So thank God, Vinyl, even though it's strong still, it was strong back then where people would buy.
It's still strong.
That was the B-side of Take It Personal.
Yep.
Timeless music.
And then it was also the B-side of another 12-inch after that.
It's a B-side to
X to the Next and D-Wick.
Yeah, we was on X to the Next Girl remix and credits due. Oh no, BYS was also on there.
Yep.
And that then they were just trying to reach for straws.
Right.
Then we said, let's just put it on Hard to Earn when that comes out. That way people at least, if they need an album, they can cop that and get it. And then everybody's like, oh, you just putting it on there to help sell it. And it's like, who cares? So what? Put it on there to fucking sell it.
We make records to sell.
Can somebody shut them up out there? This the downside of having a live audience. Y'all shut the fuck up.
It's live up in here, baby.
I got a question. Go ahead. About D-Wick.
Yeah.
And this just randomly came. I do some of my best thinking in the shower.
Okay.
And I was.
Most people saying
hot or cold water.
And I'm not even acknowledging that.
And again, shout out to Just Blaze for helping me set up my BlackBerry. I use my BlackBerry Twitter more than my iPhone Twitter. I like my iPhone for pictures.
Right.
But Just Blaze, and it was late. You were like, yo, man, I'm ready to go to bed. And
you going BlackBerry and iPhone?
Waited in the lobby.
4 a.m, but I had to get my man right.
And he waited in the lobby and got it set up. And I'm so used to this, the way it looks on the screen here. Right. I'm not used to the iPhone.
We gonna get you over that BlackBerry soon enough.
I love my BlackBerry.
But just real quick,
shout out to all the BlackBerry users.
I'm thinking, just randomly, and I think Lord Knows came on. So, Rick Ross says whatever he says about YOLO. All the kids are all about YOLO right now. And I came to the conclusion that maybe D-Wick was the original YOLO. Did it stand for something? Do what you can, kid, maybe something like that. No. So what did it mean?
It was back when everybody used to go my D-Wick, saying like.
I must have missed. So the song was actually just
we would
penis reference.
It was a prank you play on each other.
Right.
Greg might mumble something, and the key is to get you to say huh. So I might go, yo, Jack, you saw the
what?
Wick. That's what it was.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's
and that story. Biz Marquis used to do it all the time. He'd be like, yo, Premier, you drove down to and I go, huh? He go, ma, Wick. So
this is before the pause era, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. And I even stopped doing the pause thing now because if you're not thinking that way, you don't have to pause.
Right. Of course.
Now everything is like extreme. Like, I'm gonna go up under there and get that pause. Let me get behind you to grab that. It's like, come on.
How you doing? Pause.
Exactly.
Well, some people, the problem with pause is also some people don't know how to use it.
Right.
Like they reach too hard. Those are people that I worry about. Right. If you want to reach that hard,
reaching too hard.
Don't reach to get a ball. Hard.
Don't reach so hard
just to be able to say.
Don't reach. Loose that grip. Loosen.
On another note, I actually have another question, and this is something that I can relate to just personally. When Baseline Studios was about to be sold or closed,
right,
I stepped in and said no and took it over. Now you did the same thing with D&D.
Yep.
Now with the hip hop scene changing, with the underground hip hop scene specifically changing, and that's for the majority of your domain where you reign supreme. How are you able to maintain that place, even just financially? Even because it's such an enormous undertaking.
Let me tell you, it was hard for a few years,
right?
And even where I'm having conference calls with my management, and my lawyers, and my accountants, and they're like, "Yo, why don't you just give it up?" And you can always either set up at home or do whatever. I'm like, no, don't care. I will do what it takes to keep this place going, and and that drives you. And I stuck it out and kept grinding, and now everything is just like really. There you go.
That's how you know
that was a good one.
That was a Just Blaze pause. That's a Just Blaze pause.
That was actually a good one. Stuck it out and kept grinding. But for real, like
that's how you knew you would be a good dad, though. Shout out to the dad.
Yeah. Shout out to all the pauses.
Yes,
but that made you stick to it, and then all of a sudden things have gotten better, business has gotten better, and now everything's just going. And I just did another 5-year lease actually yesterday. So shout to Mike Dryzen, shout to my lawyer Mark, shout to my accountant, shout to Fat Gary, my manager. We're getting it in, man. We're getting in order, and it's so good to still see the studio get another 5 years.
Nice.
That's good to hear because there's so many studios specifically within Manhattan.
Yeah, the Sony.
That have dropped
Sony,
man. Sony's gone, Hit Factory's gone, Battery's
shout out to Jerry
gone.
Wonder, who's still popping off. I go over there all the time and hang with them. Shout out to Jerry Wonder.
Yeah, I've always wondered that as a studio owner, and since then I shut down Baseline, but opened up a new facility, partnered up with somebody else.
Running, man.
Yeah, so it's always good to see that people are still able to maintain some musical and studio integrity.
I don't care what it takes to get that rent. I'm gonna get it. And now, shout out to my landlord. We restructured a new deal, and it's way more cheaper than what it used to be.
That's awesome.
And it was really expensive, even though that's an old building, but it's
it's the location.
Of course. Yeah,
you can't.
What?
You can't beat that location. It's a great spot to be in, and just the history of D&D. So I'm glad that everything's smooth, and we renovated, and we're still renovating and everything, and I'm just in a real good space right now. And like I said, again, for my son just being part of my life, that makes you really want to do everything, but you're in a good mood. Like, I'm in a good mental space. No one's gonna take me out of my zone. The song off my album with Bumpy Knuckles that I love is called "I Never Take My Focus Away," and it was actually a Kanye track that we didn't use for Dark Twisted Fantasy, but Bumpy did what I would hope. Kanye used to rhyme to it all the time and never spit it on tape, but being it didn't get used, I knew somebody of Bumpy's level could still make it sound dope. And if I didn't like it, I would have said, "Yo, let's pull that one." But he did exactly what I wanted. And again, I never take my focus away is my motto right now on everything. So you'll see a lot more changes with me in the next couple of months. To it, just getting adjusted and getting right.
D-Wick. I want to go back to D-Wick.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
Okay.
You heard the freestyle.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it, man?
It was cool. I mean, even with that, man, everybody made a big deal out of when I mentioned him on the radio about the cipher.
Right.
When I was asked if he would what did I think of that? I'm like, as long as he has a dope rhyme, I'm real quick answered like that. As long as his rhyme is dope. And then when I just started hearing things about it, it's not going to be written by him, but be it Ludo or anybody, it doesn't matter. As long as it's not, they weren't hearing that it wasn't possibly going to be written by him. I was like, well, then nah, man, then he shouldn't do it. Right. But I'm not the one to call the shots. If they still want to make it happen, just hopefully he's dope when the camera rolls. And that was it. But all of a sudden, that turned into a whole thing.
Well,
I'm barring dude and all that. And I'm like, yo, I just said, as long as he comes with a dope 16.
Right.
Simple.
So you specifically banned him from the cipher because he didn't write his?
No. That was just my opinion.
Okay,
I never banned it. It just never went down.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was going to come when Chris Brown. When we did the Shady Cipher in Detroit, we went back to that same warehouse. We just moved in the corner where it looked a little different, and did it with Chris Brown and K-Mac and Tiger, and that was one that Justin Bieber was supposed to come to, but it just never happened. No big deal that it didn't. And he was in Brazil at the time, on the road and stuff like that. But I was all for it as long as his verse was dope to what we were gonna do. That was it. It was just an opinion.
Stop lying.
They blew it out of proportion. My phone started ringing like crazy. I'm like, I have an effect on Justin Bieber. I'm underground. Like, what I say about Justin Bieber would anybody even care?
You know what though, man?
You know what I'm saying?
I've been listening to the Christina Aguilera album.
Okay.
Back to
Shout
basics.
to Christina.
And that's an amazing album. Like, that's an amazing album.
I love that album.
It's a pop album, but it's got your influence all over it.
Her tour was dope, and just hanging with her was dope.
Right. And I started thinking, like, I would love to see.
Did you think if the internet was asking if Primo got his finger on that?
No, I know you're asking.
Yeah, you're asking
my
that,
finger
Dallas.
On what, Dallas? Finish the...
Oh, God.
Just a finger,
Oh, on Christina? No, because she was engaged to Jordy. Shout out to Jordy. I know they're divorced now, but they're both family to me to this day, because they invited me to her wedding, and I was there, when they were making plans, and we were still trying to come up with songs from scratch, like the way I do my stuff. Like, I don't have like 30 beats for you to pick, and you just pick number 15 and number 2 and number 8 and say those are the ones I want to spit to. I go in from nothing and make something that I think you should rhyme to. That's what I do. If you give me instruction, I can do it that way too. Like me and Guru always had the list of every song, and I would just make the music match the titles.
Right.
So that's how we always did it. But if you say, just do my thing, I'm going to think like a DJ. Like, I like to make sure where I want to keep starting it over at the beginning. Start the beginning. Just keep starting the beginning. That's why my records start with a crazy beginning, so DJs just start the top. Because that's what we used to like when I used to cut records. Not used to. I cut records.
Right.
That, when I cut on the wheels, that's why I like records where you.
That's actually something I've always done. Like, DJs will say to me, like, yo, I love cutting up the beginning of this one or that one. I'm like, I made it for that.
Yeah.
But as me as a DJ,
I got it made.
And keep bringing it back.
Yeah, all of that's in my mind when I create something. Like,
is that hitting it on the one?
It's not all the time.
No, sometimes
Mass
it's the
Appeal's
two.
not on the one.
That used to drive me nuts when I would try to throw it in. You gotta hit it with the one.
You know? But you're a producer and
I get it. And a DJ. Yeah, I get it.
But that's what I do it for. I want just DJs going, yo, did you hear what he cut or what he did? I never was thinking to pass that. I just wanted DJs to be on my dick for what I'm doing beat-wise and cut-wise. And the MCs are going to flavor it to make it all complete. But I just wanted DJs to go, yo, this motherfucker cut, you know, but he did the you know, like they know where that came from, but how I styled it. That's it. And that's why I still make my records with a DJ mentality. It's nothing more than that, just a DJ mentality.
Are we going to see another Primo?
That's why the DJs are on a platform.
I'd love to, man. But like I said, I went to a wedding and, you know, they whole family, I would just hang in her house all the time outside of, you know, I was there when her son was born and had his bris and in her house, and she had penis balloons all over the fucking house, and the rabbi was like, can we take the penis balloons down? She was like, no, this is how we live. Like, we have fun and enjoy stuff. And the rabbi said, who wants to watch me cut it up close? I said, me. I was the only one that run up there. Even all her gay friends and all that were even like, nah, I don't want to see that. And I'm sitting there right there with the rabbi watching them slice the skin and circumcise the baby.
Right?
Yeah, the moil. Yeah, some moil. And I mean, I thought that was just amazing to even get that type of an invitation. You know, Irving Azoff, all these people that own Live Nation are there chilling. We're watching the football game in the living room, and everything is just chill.
After the football game?
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers was playing that night. It was playoff time when she had her son Max. Shout to Max. Shout to Jordy. And then, like I said, me, Flavor Flav, Warren G. We used to be over Christina's house every day playing Mario Kart. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Mario Kart.
I'm curious to hear what a Primo Justin Bieber album would sound like.
It would sound dope.
I'm real curious to hear that.
It would sound dope because it can't leave the studio until I'm happy with it. So it would sound dope. I mean, he can sing. He's talented, and you know, it's not selling out if I do a Bieber record. It's not selling out if I do a Miley Cyrus record.
Of course.
Christina proved that, and I'm glad she let me just be me and do me. Right. And we just clicked, man. We had that was some of the most fun in the studio ever. Shout out to Cara Diaguardi. She was there too. We had so much fun, man.
Nice. Now going back again to Gangstar, man. Like, you guys broke up.
No,
you never broke up.
Never. So we are still signed.
Okay.
To this day, I still have the same lawyer.
Legally.
Yeah, still on paper. Nothing ever broke up. He took a break and said he wanted to do his 7 grand stuff with Solar, and I said, all right, we'll holler when we holler, and we just never hollered.
And what happened though, man? Because it got so messy at the end, man.
That's still a mystery.
It's never over. It's never over.
That's still a mystery to me.
Over.
That's still a mystery to me because we haven't really communicated. We speak over small stuff, but for the most part, we just really want to communicate, and so I don't know what mind state he was in, and it still mind boggles the fuck out of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and do you know Solar? And of course. Did you feel like he played a role in that, man?
I can't speak on that. I can't speak on what role he plays. The main thing is I know Solar. He knows me. I know that guy. Like, I know him well from when he came into the picture to whatever's going on outside of when they weren't around us. I still know him well enough to, you know, he can't front on me, you know, ever front on me. And, you know, but to blow him up when he's not on my level of what I represent as a human being and a man, he's not worth, but just so much talk. You know what I'm saying? But I know the guy well. So that's why it's like, whatever you kick, it can only go so far because I know you. It'd be different if I didn't know him and say we don't know his M.O. And we don't know his whole M.O. We just know him from how we know him when he started to come around and hang with us. So, you know, he only traveled with us once, and then all the other times he'd go to other shows, but traveling only once. Everybody else has always been mentioned. We toured together. He was never with us. So it was just weird how Guru made a departure. It's still weird, but I am down with his family now. We just started Gangstar Enterprises, where his family and Guru's son will reap the benefits. We split everything down the middle, and we put out authentic Gangstar merchandise, videos, music. Being that I know everything about
the whole group, and Big Suge. Shout out to Big Suge of the Gangstar Foundation. He's one of the original members.
Right.
He actually they were called the Gangsters first, and then
is he from Massachusetts?
Yeah. He's from Mattapan. So shout out to Big Suge. So Suge. Shout out to Damo D-Ski, shout out to Mike D, aka DJ Wanna Be Down, even shout out to Smitty and Shab, man, like they're Gangstar Foundation extensions before Group Home and everything else started to take place, and I know all this history enough to be able to, like I said, be the proper person to speak on anything Gangstar. From footage, we have footage from our first show to our last show. So I all that stuff will be coming out and properly, where it's not misguided by the way he died controversially. Right. All that stuff will even be cleaned up soon too. It's messy how he made an exit, but all that stuff can be fixed just because we exist. And so in a sense, love to Guru too, man. And shout out to his father who's not doing well, but Judge Elam, and shout out to his mother, Miss Barbara Clark Elam. You know what I'm saying? Good people. They know me from the very beginning. Right. So, and they know my parents. So I know Jossie, I know Jay. His name, that's Harry Jr., Harry Sr., Harry Jr., but we call him Jay. And shout out to Trish, man. And shout out to Justin, who really kept it 100 on all that footage you saw. That was real. So in a sense, there is closure to almost. There's more to come. Right. More to come, yeah. But again, it's all about doing the right thing in life, man. And again, I know every single one of the guys that's been down with us, from J. Rue to Malachi the Nutcracker to all the extensions, NYGs, Forbid, Bahamadia. We all know each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? Headquarters, M.O.P. Bumpy, like Lays, Fox, we were really running like that, fighting together, not at each other, brawls and everything, like.
Premier, I'm sorry, Justin, but I just went when you said headquarters, man. I thought about the show that was on Sirius, that they released the news today that the show's not going to be there.
That's what I heard today. I'm like, damn,
they didn't tell you?
No.
Wow. You learned via tweet too?
No, I got a call from
a buddy of mine that just actually said, yo, I heard you doing Combat Jack. I'm like, yeah. He said, yeah, I heard about the show too. I'm like, what about it? He said, yeah, they said online that it's over. I'm like, damn. And now we've been going through our trying to make adjustments type thing, but no one said, hey, it's a wrap, move on. But at least I can take it elsewhere, and whatever its case may be, I'm going to still represent the underground. But shout out to Eclipse, who's on Sunday nights from 10 to midnight, who represents the same thing I represent, which is called Rappers Out of Control show. So shout out to him, Torre. Shout out to Destroy, who's on every now and then.
Black Torre.
But yeah, Black Torre. And his album For the Record is out. But yeah, I
just heard the same thing today too. So if it's true, then hey, so
that's disrespectful. And
there wasn't any sign, was there any creative differences or anything like that?
I just want business done properly, simple and plain. Simple and nothing major, real itty bitty stuff.
So if that's the case, man, what you have anything in mind in terms of what you're about to do next?
Hey, anybody want to pick up my show? Let's get it.
There's always internet radio.
Yeah,
man.
You know what I represent?
There's always internet radio.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Spaceship.
So, word. So
Just we had a question.
We'll be fine regardless.
You mentioned Group Home earlier when you were running down the list of the foundation.
Group Home.
So a lot of people will consider that your opus in terms of the production.
Yeah, not lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, but that's what relates to what I'm about to say.
Yeah, shout out to Dap and Mel, man. They're family.
They're family. Right. I mean, they didn't rhyme. Malachi. I'll let you say what you say, and then I'll say what I say.
Well, this kind of relates to that. Like, when you were going through the process of making that album, for them to be, I guess, frankly speaking, the non-lyricists that
marginal.
I wouldn't say it wasn't even marginal.
Chanting is good.
I rock on the block with the real hip-hop while you start to stop, then drop,
nursery rhymes.
But the beats was so dope.
I wanted to compensate for the lyric ability that could have been on that level, so it's kind of almost like smothering, it's smothering it up a little bit to make it bigger than what it was.
Keeping the balance. Keeping the balance.
So that's kind of your mission was to
no question.
Lyrical ability.
Yeah, I was like, I told Guru, let me do the album.
Right.
You know, I know that's your group, and
because we used to all be around the house getting drunk, and Branford Marcellus' old crib, he left a drum set there.
And you used to live at Branford's house.
Yeah, I used to play the drums all the time. Dab used to be like, yo, teach me how to play the drums. So I would show him how to do the hi-hat, and he caught on like mad quick. So then me and him would just start bugging out, battling each other, just doing stupid shit on the drums. That turned into everybody freestyling, and all of a sudden, months, maybe a year later, Dab started rhyming. We're like, oh shit, Dab rhymes for the verse. And then they were like, yo, Malachi, you kick something. He starts rhyming, and he's always flexing like he want to fight somebody, which he will. And next thing you knew, Guru was like, yo, we should do a joint. And Guru put the so-called Friends beat together. Came the next day and said, yo, listen, we lived together at that time. He was like, yo, listen to what they did last night. And when I heard it, I was like, damn, they sound kind of cool.
Did you really say that?
Yeah, well, for So-Called Friends? Yeah, So-Called Friends, I like that. The mix and all that wasn't all that, but they sounded like they had a little something, if structure right.
Right.
Malachi had gotten a second gun charge, so we were going through him going to jail. And shout out to Judge Bamberger. You know, she was really a tough judge, but her heart was in the right place. She wanted to put him in jail. She said, well, he wanted to be a boxer. That's all he wanted to do was box. His dream was to be the next Mike Tyson. And trust me, as crazy as he is, and all the things we've been through with drama and fighting and with people at video shoots and the things that have just gone down in our situations of video shoots and clubs and everything else, Malachi likes to get it in, but he loved boxing. I had him training for boxing, but when he got caught with the second gun, the judge didn't want him to be a boxer. She said, look, I don't want him taking boxing. That's a violent sport. But I'm like, Judge, if that's what he loves to do, let him do it and he can make money. She said, no. She said, I want him to do something else. Or do you want me to remand him right now? And I was like, no, Judge, I don't want you to do that. She said, you do music and make him make a record.
I want him to be a rapper.
And no, he didn't want to do it.
So
Malachi was like,
Judge,
I had to force him to go in the booth. He's like, I don't want to do this. Like he flips.
So it's either rap or go to jail, basically.
Yeah, he
rap or go to jail.
He flips.
Have you ever heard some shit like that before?
No, we have sessions. He
used to be go to the army or go to jail.
He'll be like, yo, I'd always go pick him up from his mom's, and because then I moved to 183rd on the Bronx. That's how I met Panchi and everybody from up there, and Smiley and Malachi. So Mel was just like disappear on recording nights
because he hated it so much.
He did not want to do it. Dad was like, yo, I'm with this. Wow. Which he had a little bit more of a style to him, and the look and everything went with him.
It seemed like he was hungrier too.
But Mel was just like so against it. But again, we had to do it to keep him out of jail, and it was kind of, it wasn't a signed agreement where it's like, yo, you will do this, Judge, But she said, I want to find out he's got progress, and also he has a video out. She's like, there you go, and she finally took him off the probation, and he was finally back to normal.
They need to put that program back into the prisons now.
The rap program, right?
Right?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Judge Bamberger, man. She was a mean little fucking
crazy.
judge, but she kept it 100.
Yo, but how do you get somebody that doesn't want to rap to rap?
I'm very good at I could be a counselor, man. I mean, I'm just good with dealing with people. I mean, yeah, I was a counselor at Young People's Day Camp. That was one of the, when I moved in with Gordon's family, when I was trying to get a record deal, but his father was like, you got to get a job. And shout out to his father, Arden, R.I.P. He's Trini, and shout out to his mom, Marilyn, and they were like, you can stay with us while you're trying to get your music thing off the ground, but you got to work. And me, and shout out to my man Top Ski, who was my original MC when we were in Texas going to school, and happened to be from Boston. We would we both worked at Young People's Day Camp, and even though we didn't qualify, they ran out of staff to watch all these badass Flatbush kids. So we were like, we'll watch them. So we'd smoke coolies on the way to work and take care of all these kids. We had 16 kids.
Group home.
We had 16 kids.
That's the group home, the movie.
Yo, some of the kids ended up being a success.
Right.
When Annie Up came out with M.O.P, some of my kids from back then
where now adults have stores and clothing companies.
I was using on the street.
Doing positive things.
All of that shit.
Doing positive things, and they look the same, but they grew up. But and all these kids were bad, foul-mouthed little kids, but they loved us because we let them rhyme. We would let them do different things. They were like, yo, y'all are like not like other counselors. Y'all are cool, but we knew how to relate to kids, to the youth. I mean, hip hop is that. So that's how that happened.
We got some questions from the chat room.
Yeah. A couple of questions. Anthony Chirico wants to ask Primo, who is your favorite porn star at the moment?
Man, at the moment now.
Hold on a second. Let's preface that. Internets. It's rumored that Primo has a porn collection that could even rival Kanye's.
Man, I did for a long time because I got into porn when I was maybe 12, 13 because...
You still got print mags?
No, because
VHS?
I go back to Swedish erotica days because when one of my best friend's father used to go to work, he said, don't touch my gun and don't go in my closet. So we'd play with the gun. But he wanted us to know where the gun was, so if we ever had a problem to use it. But he said, still, I just want you to know where it is. In Texas, you could do that. And then we'd go in the closet. He had mad the ones the thread, the round thread that that you thread.
Reel to reel.
Yeah, like we used to watch it in elementary and high school. So everything was Swedish erotica. Seika. John Holmes, Jamie Gillis, Vanessa Del Rio. Who else?
Marilyn
Ginger Lynn, Marilyn Chambers.
Woo!
Yeah, Randy West. That era. So even Joey Silvera. Shout out to Joey Silvera, who's a big hip hop fan and does some of the most filthy, slutty porn. And also shout to my man Flanagan from Smut Life, who actually have his shirt on right now from Smut Life. Shout to Keebler as well. And again, man, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. Everybody has a filthy side. It's just you either.
How often do you wash your filthy side?
What's that?
No, I mean, when you say everybody has a filthy side, you're right.
Yeah, no question. I mean, be it from being dirty and not taking a shower and scrub dirt, or just being filthy minded. You know what I'm saying? You can be criminal minded.
Is German porn?
German porn's filthy.
Yeah.
Oh, no question. Super filthy.
The filthiest?
I would say
Norway.
Yeah, I didn't know you was a porn expert, B.
He's a connoisseur.
You ain't know this? I used to go to all the conventions every year and all that stuff. But again, to me, it's like no big deal. It's like we're human beings. We all into something and live life.
Kanye's got bestiality in his collection. Do you have any bestiality?
Nothing wrong with bestiality. Nothing wrong with that. The sluttier the better.
Okay, all right. Real talk.
The sluttier the better.
Slutty woman, not a slutty horse.
Not with horses and all that shit.
So for the record.
Not with animals.
You don't fuck with bestiality porn.
All wrong.
What do y'all call it? Hold on. What do y'all?
Bestiality is animal porn.
No. I've seen it.
So no goats and hens.
No, come on.
Clarity.
For the internet, I just want to clear that up.
No,
because I know how y'all ready with the tweets.
Because somebody's about to sound clip that. No, Primo saying nothing wrong with bestiality. Bestiality.
I thought that's called animal porn. I mean, shit, it's animals is born. Y'all got the wrong terminology.
Wear a mask. It's all right for people to wear a costume though.
Yeah. Wear a horse costume.
Yeah, or a bear costume.
A bear costume?
No.
Or a penguin.
That's what you watch, Dallas?
Dallas, he said, I can't wait to watch that crocodile fuck that polar bear.
Y'all all know y'all be watching Channel 13 PBS for that shit.
Peel the skin.
I seen bestiality once. I caught my assistant, the old assistant, at the studio, and he had some horse porn.
Horse porn.
Yeah,
that was so.
I saw that back in like the early '90s. So I mean, now
so
I know it's more. I mean,
say you've been there, done that?
Not done that, but seen it. Yeah, seen it. I mean, seeing it. It's so
painful.
Crazy. I mean, think about it. We're pre-internet. I mean, now everything's on the internet. Shit. Yeah. The girl shitting in the cup. Like, who didn't see that?
2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah, who didn't see that?
Oh, man.
My grandmother even saw that. She's dead. She saw it. Oh, yeah. I saw the 2 in the cup. I mean, again, man, everybody has levels, and whatever level you're on, as long as you're not hurting anybody, slapping ass, spitting the bitch's mouth, do whatever. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Have fun. Enjoy life, man.
Rockstar.
That's how I live. Yeah, Rockstar.
Could you marry a porn
Gangstar?
YOLO.
I mean, I guess if everything just added up to where it's really that real between us, I guess so.
Yeah, I want to watch that show.
But
why have we not put that show on television?
There we go. Let's do it.
Why have we not done that?
Me and Just Blaze will do the beats.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
What other question?
Yeah. Actually, we got a question from one of our audience members out there. Shout out to D-Funk. He wants to ask Primo, what's your favorite Just Blaze beat?
Let me think. I would say, man, I ain't gonna lie. The way you chopped up motherfucking Old Boy for the Rolls Royce record. I mean, like, that record, for one, I'm Going Down is a incredible record. Just from me coming from the 70s era and going to the Majestic Metro in Houston, which was the gutter theater, seeing Claudine and
did you skate too?
Car Wash. Hell yeah!
What? Turn up.
We went to Silver Wings in Brenham, Texas, and Sunday was Black Night.
Mm-hmm. We had fast skate. We fast skate real fast, try to knock everybody over and stuff. And always put on a banging jam, Confunction, Parliament or Cameo. Cameo is major in Texas. Mm-hmm. Flirt and I Just Want to Be and all that stuff. Raw shit. Groove Line by E-Wave and anything Jackson 5, Michael Jackson.
It's interesting that you bring up your musical background, particularly in Texas, because when I listen to your music, man, it's like almost everything you do epitomizes the New York sound.
Well, I'm from that era.
Right. And what do you think about...
Maybe not if I was born now.
Right, but what do you think about the New York sound right now? Where is it?
Everybody's fucking it up.
Right.
They don't sound like the city. They sound like everywhere else. I like the South. They sound like the South. I want New York sound like New York. And that way you have versatile shit coming from everywhere. Like when we used to come up, I buy a De La album, a Big Daddy Kane album, a Stetson Sonic album, a Ultramagnetic MCs album, Run DMC, Boogie Down Productions, Eric B. and Rakim. That's 7 albums I'm buying the same week.
Instantly.
You think part of the reason is because a lot of cats that's coming out from New York per se is not native New Yorkers? They're from...
Nah, it has nothing to do with that. It's about what you know and what you're schooled on. I mean, when my son gets old enough to understand it, I'm going to school him on what I like and what just gets me hype. And then he may like a style that I do not like or will like. I'll be like, that's kind of hot. Yeah. Like it or not, I'm going to still stick to the styles that make me happy, that I can feel. I ain't going to front on something I don't feel. If I don't feel it, I'm not going to front and just, oh yeah, that's dope, like most people do. They'll play you that shit and high five you, and then all of a sudden they ain't trying to help you get a deal.
Do you start with a drum? I mean, like the drum is that primal first sound.
Different every time. If I am in drum mode, which is the most of the time, I do the drums first because I kind of know what snare and kick I want. But if I start to sample hunting, then I gotta look for the snare and kick that matches that I can use. That sounds like it'll just.
They gotta mesh together.
Yeah, they gotta mesh, and you experiment. Everything's experimentation. You have some looping, you'll try that. That's not.
That's one of the biggest things that I always tell people. Learn. If you're sample based, if you're using a sample, you have to be able to match the mood of those drums to that sample. A lot of people don't really know how to do that. I think that's when it comes to hip hop production and people who use samples, one of the most common mistakes or just common things that these young people lack sometimes when they're trying to come up is the ear of how to match that kick and snare to what's happening in that sample.
Yep, exactly. And again, that's just from us really being brought up on really good music. Like, we're brought up on Aretha, Natalie Cole,
Earth, Wind and Fire,
Commodores, Ozzy Brothers, Graham Central Station, Sly and the Family Stone, Prince, the whole Jackson, everything.
The old Cool in the Gang.
Yeah, the old Cool in the Game before Celebration and all that.
Grace Jones.
Yeah, Grace Jones. Even David Bowie, The Clash, man.
But I'm
Susie and the Banshees, the Smiths, TiVo.
Hall & Oates.
I read something the other day, man. Like some younger kid was like, "Yo, I'm tired of hearing y'all cats that was beyond, the '80s, telling us about how the music is not the same."
Oh, you talking about Tyler?
No, it wasn't Tyler. It was just somebody random saying like I'm tired of hearing.
Yeah, fuck them.
Saying that the music is not good enough. But there is a difference in the music,
and if they feel that way, that's fine. But they're gonna be old one day too.
And
somebody's gonna say that about them. The music should never be the same.
Right.
In other words,
of course,
if like everybody says they want another, say, Illmatic. But if Nas kept making Illmatics, it wouldn't have been special anymore. Right. My thing is, I don't have an issue with young versus old or anything like that because I'm kind of in the middle. But for me, I just feel like people need to, or for me at least, a big thing was when I was coming up and first discovering a Gangstar or a Public Enemy or whoever, I made it a point to go back and find the music that they were using to create the music that I'm listening to now. Going into my mother's attic or to the basement, finding an Isaac Hayes record, finding a James Brown record, and starting to realize, oh, this is where this came from. And I feel like the more you know your history, the more you can shape the future.
Of course. All the time. Of course. My sentiments exactly.
I got a combo question for Primo and then one for Just Blaze.
What's on this combo?
Combo breaker.
How many cheeses on this combo?
They want to know.
Cheeses.
Primo.
3 cheeses, fresh lettuce.
No Mary J. Blige. No Mary J. Blige.
Fresh lettuce.
They want to know what's up with the DJ Premier versus P Rock album and the rumored Primo Nas collaboration, if that's gonna happen.
The Pete Rock Premier album is in the works. We're just structuring it. Actually, the first single is gonna be me producing Pete Rock, and he's gonna rhyme over my beat, but we're gonna battle each other.
Are you gonna rhyme on a Pete Rock beat?
No.
Come on.
Who you gonna pull in the rhyme over Pete Rock?
What's that?
Who you gonna pull into be, Primo over Pete Rock?
Ancient Chinese secret.
But that's how we're gonna do the first single.
And the Nas album.
The Nas album.
Alleged.
All I can say is it's really coming.
Really?
That's all I can say. I can't say anything else
because you guys kind of
really coming.
Y'all been saying that for a while.
Yeah, Scratch magazine cover.
I'm saying it like it's.
I remember running into you at the Doom concert at the Nokia Theater. It's really coming.
I don't know if I said it's really. coming.
You told me in the we was in the audience.
So it was coming, but now it's really coming.
Yeah. And that's all I can say. That's all I can say. Trust me.
I'll tell you this though, man.
I wouldn't lie to you.
The good thing is this, man. You and Nas have been making
shout to Esco
music recently. Like, tell us about the Berkeley Orchestra.
That I didn't even ask for Nas to be on that. They did.
You up on that, Just? What was that? The Berkeley Orchestra.
The Regeneration. The movie, the documentary movie with me.
Me, Skrillex, Crystal Method,
right.
Pretty Lights, and Mark Ronson.
Who sponsored that? That was sponsored
the Grammys. Sponsored that. Right. Yeah, the Grammys and what's the car?
Audi,
Scion,
Chevy.
No.
It wasn't Scion.
Dodge,
Hyundai,
Thunderbird,
Fiat, Hyundai. Shout to Hyundai for doing that. They made the sport car for the launch of their new vehicle that's coming out this year, and it's a fast little car too, and it comes with the Serato turntable mixer.
So
did they make a commercial, Primo? Did they make a commercial of this?
Huh?
Did I miss the commercial of this?
The Veloster, yeah. Did you miss the commercial?
Because Hyundai has that white rapper. Man, Hyundai, show me the Primo commercial, Hyundai.
Yeah, well, we got the documentary, Regenerations. And it's on Hulu right now, too. So
it's on Hulu.
Okay.
It's not on.
It's not on TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a documentary.
Right, it's on Hulu.
5 DJs were picked to learn a genre of music and create a brand new song from what they learned and then make it into a new record.
Right.
I was picked by classical. We didn't get to pick our genres. It was rock, country, classical, soul, and jazz. I was picked to do classical. They explained to me what I would be doing, and I would be learning how to conduct an orchestra. And
now, how was that?
That was an incredible experience of all experiences for me. I now respect classical music. I want to go to an opera now. I want to see a lady, do the whole singing opera. Cause now I understand how I've been sampling it for years.
Right.
But I'm just looking for a sound that I know I can make it funky to a kick and a snare and boom bap it. This is literally understanding the music as a genre of its own, and then meshing it with what I do and creating a thing to show that we can create something from scratch. And that's what we did. Shout out to my tutor, Bruce Adolph from the Brooklyn Academy of Music and from Juilliard. And then shout out to Steve Weber from the Berklee College of Music, who really taught me a lot
about how to listen and respect this music. And they reached out and said, "Hey, we want Nas. Since you're on Rock the Bells tour, we'd like Nas to be on it." And I said, "Well, reach out to him, and if you need me to explain it to him, I'll holler at him." And then they asked me to explain it to him, and I called him. He was like, "I'm with it." And he wrote it on the spot.
Just a little simple, quick 16.
Nice. Now, aside from Guru, who's your favorite artist that you've worked with?
That I worked with?
Yeah, that you've worked
KRS.
with. KRS one.
Jay is in and out. Boom.
Right. Easy.
Biggie, in and out. No, Biggie, drinking, smoking. Bitches. All right, I'm ready to lay my vocal. And now it's almost 7 a.m, but he's ready now. And it's like, you've been sitting there with that notepad and nothing's on it but maybe, thinking he writes shit and he's ready to do it. He don't take nothing with him. He just go on the booth and spit it. Like, damn, this dude don't write his rhymes.
And that's the first time you saw that?
We did Unbelievable. I just didn't know.
Which is actually probably my favorite Biggie record.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I definitely.
Well, Crack Commandments was a promo for Angie Martinez, so
10 Crack Commandments.
Yeah, it was the Hot 5 at 9.
Right.
Wow. That's why it just goes to 5.
Right.
With the scratch, and it only goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because it was 9 o'clock for Angie Martinez. She played the top 5 records. That's why I just keep cutting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always stop at 5. If you listen to the record, the Biggie record, it never goes past 5 until the 1, 2, 3, 4. Just and that, again, that's what I knew DJs would be like. Oh, he's cutting just to 5 for 5 o'clock, and just to 9, then the intro and at the end. That was it. But Biggie and them heard the promo and said, "Yo, we want that for a song." And he said it's called the 10 Crack Commandments. That's why I was like, well, damn, the Chuck D only goes to 9. And I just took one of my astronaut T-Mars, 10, 9. Just took the 10. Flew that in.
And Chuck recently came out and said that whole lawsuit.
Yeah, I saw it. Chuck's my man. I mean,
like, how does it feel to get sued by Chuck D? B?
Well, you know what? He explained that it was a lot of back and forth, and we were on tour together. It was us, Cypress Hill, Gangstar. I was rude then, but I've grown up since then. And when Jam Master Jay died, Headquarters had just died 2 days after Jam Master Jay. So I was preparing. I dressed him in the casket. His mother asked me to dress him. So my mind's on that, and still going to Jam Master Jay's wake.
Right.
And then there's this attention to the fact that he was murdered. So they were both murdered.
Right.
So the cops and just the pressure, you could just feel the tension there at the funeral home and everything at Jam Master Jay's shit. But it was just dope seeing everybody dressed up like Run DMC with the Adidas and the hats and
gold chains.
Everybody, even Leo had it on. You know what I'm saying? And
here's a question I'd ask you. In light of that, somebody samples.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got a special caller that's calling in. And who's this caller, AK?
Caller, you on the line?
Hello?
Caller.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
We can hear you. What's going on? Who's this?
Yeah, this is Colonel OG, Bun B, representing UK for life.
Oh, Bun B!
Uncle Bun.
Yo,
what up, Bun?
What's going on, Bun?
Not too much, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to call in and check in with some of the Trillers brothers on the airwaves.
All right. Like they say in Texas already.
And I also wanted to congratulate the newest member of the team, Megatron John himself.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Uncle Bun. Appreciate you.
How you been? How you doing, man? How you been, man?
I'm blessed, man. I can't complain, man. God is good. I still got hip-hop in my life. I still got family in my life. Still make money doing what I love, man. Ain't no place for me.
That's what's most important. We get to make a living doing what we love. It's like you don't have a job. Even if you get up and go to work, you don't have a job.
Exactly, man. What's going on, man? What you been up to, though?
Not too much, man. Getting ready to start teaching again in the fall. So I've been working with Dr. Penn, who co-teaches the course with me at Rice University. We're also looking to publish 2 books from the course. So, looking forward to moving over into publishing.
Nice.
As opposed to just music.
Nice, man. I also hear you got this next Gumball rally coming up, man.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be my 3rd Gumball rally. This year we started in New York and go across to Los Angeles.
Nice, man.
Stopping in Toronto, Indy 500, Niagara Falls, Tucson, Arizona, Vegas, Kansas City, all of that.
Wow. Yo, and also forever R.I.P. to Pimp C, man.
Oh, absolutely. You already know.
Yeah, man. Fucking Bun B, man. Like,
Yo.
That's a call that lights your whole day up. Like, now he done made my whole day correct.
Yo, Bun B. Yo, Bun, this is super producer A King. I just got a question, man. What do you think about the indictment of Joe Zimmerman? George, same shit.
I'll get it
George
right. That's
Zimmerman.
the right name got to be said right for that bullshit.
The indictment of George Zimmerman out in Florida.
Well, I mean, it's the beginning of the judicial process starting to take shape. I think it is important that people recognize that all these different rallies and marches that people put together help to make this happen, that they were not going to do this if people were not gotten involved. So I commend everybody that, took a stand and put their hoodies on and all of that out there, because all of that played a part in convincing people to hire a special prosecutor to supersede everything that this fuck-ass Sanford Police Department was trying to do, so that we could really get to the core of the case and try to see justice done.
That's what's up, man.
Dope.
Word. Where's that applause sound effect? We need that right now. There we go.
There you go.
Super producer Premier.
Super producer. We got a
DJ Premier.
We got a lot of producers.
Bun B, man. That's my homie.
Yo,
right
Bun,
there,
you got any questions, man?
What you say?
You got any questions?
Do I got any questions for Premier?
For anybody in the room. We got a lot of people in the room.
I'd like to ask, okay, I'm going to ask everybody present in the room. Of the two DJs, I want to know the first two records that you bought specifically to scratch together. Like, what was your first two that you went on the turntable with practice with? And for Pete, Combat, and Dallas, I want to know what was the first record that you asked your mother for money to buy.
All right. First record I ever cut up, like backspun and cut the break up, was the drums on Michael Jackson's Beat It. That boom, cat, boom, cat. My cousin was trying to teach me how to, I think he's listening right now. Okay, what up? How to do start one right after the other. Yeah. So it would be like boom, boom, cat, cat, boom, boom, cat, cat. And there was that. And then Crash Crew on the radio and Fantasy 3 is Your Rock had the same melody. Ooh. So those are the two records I played at the same time.
On the radio.
And then the first record I ever got with my own money, or half my own money and half my mother's money, was Run DMC's first album.
Mm-hmm. The first record I ever cut up was 5 Minutes of Funk by Houdini. Oh. Shout to R.P. Cola. He was cutting it up at my school, and I'm like, yo, could you teach me how to do that?
Hard.
And I learned how to cut 5 Minutes of Funk, which is why that's one of my favorite Houdini records to this day.
Houdini was hard.
Yeah, oh, no question. And then the record that I wanted to buy, what you said, for hip hop or just period?
Just period, right, Bun?
With your own money.
Yeah.
It was Stevie Wonder, Fingertips.
Wow.
Dallas Penn.
Yep.
You all right back there, bro?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking the first record. That's a funny. It was probably some Hall & Oates shit. It was probably some fucking shit. I mean, I was wearing fucking Ton pants.
I remember that. Ton.
I was wearing fucking. So I was dating a Korean girl out of College Point, Queens, next to Flushing.
Damn, that's where I'm at now. Shout out to College Point.
Yeah. Oh, you must be dating a Colombian.
Oh no, I'm just in the cut just to chill.
Okay.
All the Koreans don't know me.
Shout out to College Point. That's where I was educated.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So I mean,
which ecstasy of Houdini used to live there, and Master Ace. That's how I found it. And that's Master Ace's Cookout.
Hip hop.
The first record I bought was Ozzy Brothers, Fight the Power.
Woo!
And I was just so amazed that somebody cursed on a record.
Where'd you buy that? Burdell's?
Bullshit.
I bought it on someplace on Nostrand Avenue, man.
Burdell's.
Might have been Burdell's.
Shout to Nostrand Avenue.
Plus the album cover, Go For Your Guns with all the smoke.
The first album I bought was Chocolate City Parliament.
Wow.
Parliament Funkadelic. That was the first album. How about you, Bun?
The first record I ever bought, I saved my allowance up to buy Ring My Bell.
Anita World.
Bun was a freak.
It was the noises, all the different.
Watch out, ladies. Watch out.
Those weren't the regular noises that you would hear on songs. Like it wasn't a guitar, it wasn't a bass, it wasn't piano, it wasn't drums. They had these synthesized sounds, you know? It was different. I was like, I just wanted to hear the little all that old stuff.
Yo, Bun, exactly. Man. When you coming through again, man?
Record,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But wait, the first record I asked my mom for money for was the Eviction Slick Rick for Christmas.
Wow.
You just bought the encyclopedia right there. That was like a volume of Britannica, Rap Britannica.
No, I had to have that, man.
No doubt.
But I couldn't let her know what was on the record. Because you got to remember, the first song on that record was Treated Like a Prostitute.
And you also had Lick the Balls.
Lick the Balls.
You know, mom would have heard that. It would have been a rap.